What's going on, guys? Jacob over here, coming to you with my instant reactions to Bucks versus Heat Game 1. I've got Brew Pack in the car with me to discuss things. A 115-104 loss for the Bucks. They faltered down the stretch after it being a relatively close game most of the way through. Jimmy Butler with 40 points, Giannis with just 18, Middleton with, I think, 28, and Brook with 24. But initial reaction, what do you say, Ryan?
What a shit loss, man. We should have won this game. What a shit loss. There's no other way to say it. We should have won this game. I'm not blaming the refs. I'm not blaming the Heat. I'm blaming the Bucks. The Bucks beat themselves here. Missed free throws, turnovers. They played like shit after that first quarter. They deserve to lose. Horrible loss by this team.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Mr. Wetland here. This was an entirely preventable loss for the Bucks. They had everything going for them in the first quarter, and they just turned the ball over way too much. How many turnovers did they have? Like 18, something like that. And the Heat scored like 20-some points off of their turnovers, and the Bucks left 12 points at the line. They lost by 11. So think about that, I mean, they...
And you're not going to shoot 100% from the line. No one's expecting that. But to miss 12, what Giannis missed, like 7, 8 free throws, that's just
he was
not...
4 for 12, yeah.
That's
so
just
8.
not... It's not excusable. You got to be better from the line. They're free throws. They're supposed to be free. They're just horrible. Horrible. Horrible.
Okay. But yeah, I mean... These are issues that have plagued the Bucks throughout the entire time in the bubble. They've been playing sloppy, and that can fly against a team like the Magic if you're simply playing with intensity. But against the Heat, it's not the same. The Bucks were playing hard tonight. They wanted to win tonight. They just were too sloppy with the ball. They couldn't hit their free throws. They kept turning it over, and that's the reason the Heat won. I mean, and another thing is like the Heat in the paint, they scored, I think, 40 points in the paint. The Bucks had only maybe 24, 26 points in the game.
They got
in the paint. They got
doubled up.
That's the area where we thought the Bucks had the biggest advantage in this series.
The Heat didn't even shoot that well from three. They're like 9 for 27 at least, with halfway through the fourth.
Yeah,
you have to win that game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just inexcusable, I mean, the Bucks just did not play anything like they should have. And, Jimmy Butler was also great tonight with the 40 points and everything. He was dominating at the end of the game, but, he wasn't the reason the Bucks lost at all. It was the Bucks that killed themselves. And really, the biggest obstacle for this team, to me, is themselves. I mean, when they are playing the way that they should be playing, I don't think there is a team that can beat them in a 7-game series. I seriously, I don't think the Lakers, not the Clippers, not the Raptors, nobody can beat them in a 7-game series when they're playing as good as... what was that? When they're playing as good as they should be, but...
No, no, I'm laughing now. I hate you. I'm pissed off and I'm laughing. The biggest threat's Coach Bud. Coach Bud, his rotations he puts out there, he has the bench players with 5 minutes left. It's like you need Giannis, you need Cash. And then he has Pat, he has Hill, he has Cash on Butler when Wesley's on the bench. Why is Wesley one of the best defenders on the team on the bench right there? He needs to be guarding Butler, who's going off in that situation. Call a timeout, put Wesley in the game. Bud was horrible. Fuck! That's it.
Sorry, this is supposed to be a PG channel, sir.
I've seen your videos. That's a lie.
But yeah, anyways, yeah, I agree with you. Coach Bud was really bad tonight, and last year I didn't really buy the narrative that Budenholzer wasn't a good postseason coach. I thought Budenholzer hasn't had a team as talented as this, right? But he's shown that he doesn't want he doesn't make the right. He hasn't been making the right decisions against the Magic. He wasn't really making the right decisions, especially in Game 1. In this game, he wasn't making the right decisions. Last year against Toronto, he wasn't making the right decisions. I mean, these are the most critical points of the season, and Coach Bud is just not making the right decisions. He's just so stuck in his philosophies, and it's just really killing the Bucks. I mean, what reason is there to play Pat Connaughton 25 minutes in this game? What reason is there for that? And Pat Connaughton was on the court in those final minutes, and Wesley Matthews, like you said, was nowhere to be found. Where's Wesley Matthews? Wesley Matthews is the Bucks' best wing defender, and he wasn't on the court for the final few minutes against a wing that was destroying the Bucks. Butler was tearing the Bucks apart down the stretch. And there was no Wesley Matthews, who had actually done a really good job on Butler. I mean, Butler was getting clamped up every single time Wesley was on him one-on-one. And what did the Bucks do? Or what does Coach Budenholzer do? He doesn't play him. I don't get it. I really don't get that. And that's kind of leading me to believe, at least leaning me towards the belief that Budenholzer isn't a good playoff coach.
We'll see if he adjusts game 2. If he doesn't adjust game 2 in these same situations, then I'm going to agree with that.
Yeah, I mean...
You need to adjust.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know, man. I mean, if the Bucks can clean it up, I feel like we can gentleman sweep them, but I don't have confidence in that happening, and I'm pretty worried about this series, honestly.
I'm worried because the Heat beat us, and they shot bad from 3. They're going to shoot better from 3 these other games. Right? I think so.
Yeah,
that's my biggest worry.
Pretty much.
They're not good, but the good thing is that might equal out that they're not going to double us in points, in the paint, I mean.
That's true, but
so it could equal out.
We have to actually stop them from doing that too,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, I don't know, man. This is just...
And I don't want to hear any of the, well, we lost game 1 last year against Boston, so we'll be fine. Or we lost game 1 against the Magic this year, so we'll be fine. Well, first off, the Heat are a million times better than the Magic. Like the Heat would easily sweep the Magic too. And then this Heat team is way better than that Celtics team. They care a lot more. The Celtics team last year did not care. This Heat team does care, and they're a lot better team. It's not the same. Do not compare last year against Boston and this past series against Orlando to this Heat series. It's not even close to the same.
Yeah, and one thing that does give me a little optimism is that the Heat are a pretty young team, and they might take this win and, you know, kind of get in over their heads a little bit and kind of play with a little bit too much confidence, and that might end up working in the Bucks' favor. But, you know, for the most part, I mean, it's really just, it just comes down to the Bucks cleaning up the missed opportunities that they had, the turnovers, the free throws. They just have to play better, plain and simple. I mean, it wasn't really much of anything the Heat did. It was just the way the Bucks were playing, and they just need to take care of the ball better and hit their free throws, and it's a lot different result in this game if they do that. So,
And are you still talking?
No, you can
Okay, I didn't like their tempo sometimes. Sometimes they were playing too fast and, like, slow down. And then sometimes they were playing too slow when I felt like they should have pushed it. Like, sometimes they had 5-on-4, or Giannis had, like, a path to the basket, and they slowed down and, like, ran offense. And then sometimes I thought they were just pulling up for stupid shots from 3, you know, highly contested threes, when I felt like they should have slowed down playing offense. I felt like their tempo wasn't right. They kept mixing up, and they were mixing up like Ron. I didn't like it.
Yeah, and that's... Yeah, I think that they were playing with a pretty solid intensity. You know, it's not the concern this time. It's just simply, you know, playing smart, and they just weren't really playing smart. They were playing hard. They weren't playing smart. And, of course, you know, I mean, I guess the king of playing hard and not smart is Eric Bledsoe, but he wasn't here tonight.
That's big, too.
That's big, though,
Bledsoe wasn't playing. That's big.
And that probably had something to do with how many points in the paint the Heat scored, because the Heat, their guards were getting into the paint. It wasn't like Bam Adebayo backing down Lopez and dunking it or scoring. It was their guards cutting to the rim and scoring. And what is Bledsoe so good at? Defense. He was first team all defense last year. So you clean that up, or you get Bledsoe back, I should say, and you know he's going to play, especially on those screens, a lot better. So I do have a little bit of optimism for that if we can get Bledsoe back for the next game, but we'll see.
And also, you got to remember, Giannis was in foul trouble early. He was out for like the last 10 minutes of the second quarter. And then Brook was in foul trouble too. So that's your 2 best defenders that were out. Bledsoe didn't even play the entire game. That's 3. I mean, a lot of your great defenders weren't playing. So, I mean, that's also big too, points in the paint.
Yeah, the more we're talking about this, the more it feels kind of like an aberration, kind of.
I don't know what that word means, but yeah.
Of course you don't. It's like something that just happens. Like it's like an uncommon thing to happen, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, everything kind of just went, like, the Heat scoring in the paint, the Bucks missing free throws, the Bucks turning it over, not having Bledsoe, Jimmy Butler scoring 40 points.
Butler's capable of scoring. 40.
Yeah. I'm just saying that he's not going to score 40 every game, is he?
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, Butler is a guy who's averaging 19 points a game in the playoffs right now. Yeah.
Wow.
So he's not going to score. He's not going to score that many points in every game. So
Yeah, but
the more I think about this, it's.
Hey, I'll admit it. Butler was great tonight. I mean, I'll definitely tip my cap to that. He was fantastic tonight. I will tip my cap to that. To him, I should say.
All right, we're getting over 10 minutes here, so we should probably wrap it up. That's all we really have to say. You just flipped me off. That's all we really got to say tonight. You know, it's for me basically just clean it up, and the Bucks can. I do think that there is a chance the Bucks can gentleman sweep them, but also I have the fear that if they don't clean this up, then they will lose the series, and they could lose it in 5, 6, or 7. I don't know, but they got to clean these issues up, or they're not going to win it. So, anyways, guys, so thanks for watching.
I got one more thing to say though before I leave, boys. Bucks in 6.
Gotta lose 2 to win in 6, right? See you guys later. Follow me on Twitter, @Sports, and on Instagram, username Jacob_Auburn. I'll see you guys next time. Go Pack, go. I mean, fear the deer. I'm so used to saying go Pack, go.